So we've all heard of watch diameters, 36, 40, 44 millimeters. It's the most common metric given by watch brands. But what does this really mean and why does it matter? Overall diameter gives us a good indication of overall size, but it doesn't necessarily correlate with good or bad fit. It's why it's third on our list of importance. Let's talk about it now. So this is the third video in our mini-series looking at watch wearability, and today it's all about case diameter and its considerations. If you want to check out our other videos in this series, click on the pop-out banner above or follow the link in the description below. Watch diameter is pretty simple to understand. In short, it means overall width, not including the crown. The smaller the number, generally the smaller the watch. Traditionally, and by that I mean early 20th century, watch sizes were generally 34 to 36 millimeters. Anything larger than this was considered big. But times change. Today, watches pushing 50 millimeters in diameter or more are not unheard of. The early 2000s saw a trend for bigger, bolder watches, with common sizes shifting upwards of 40 millimeters. This trend has somewhat cooled, but now it means we have almost unlimited choice. As with all aspects of watch buying, this boils down to personal choice, as it should, but case diameter should definitely be considered. So if you took a sample of watch enthusiasts and asked them what is the ideal watch size, they'll probably say 39 millimeters. Across a variety of wrist sizes, 39 works pretty well, a kind of Goldilocks zone if you will. So we're referring here to a male wrist size. We tend to be larger and fatter than women, and 39 tends to suit us all. As a rough guide, diameters between 28 and 35 millimeters are considered ladies' sizes, and anything upwards of 36 for men. This doesn't account for personal tastes, but a 28 millimeter watch on a 7-inch wrist will look a bit weird. But each to their own. Again, buy what you love. Watches are generally round in shape, and the diameter is simply the width of this circle from one side to the other. However, this isn't always the case, or the true total width. Let me explain. The widest point is normally across a watch's bezel. This can be found around the outer edge of the crystal. Some watches, dive watches in particular, feature rotating bezels, which sometimes overhang the watch case itself. Here on this Baltic Aquascaphe you can see the overhang well. This watch has a listed diameter of 39 millimeters. But the case steps in. The case itself has a diameter of 37 millimeters, meaning it wears smaller on wrist than a true 39 millimeter watch. A good comparison is against this Tudor Black Bay 58. This also has a diameter of 39 millimeters, but no overhang. As a result, it wears slightly larger. Going back to overall shape, some watches have square or rectangular designs, but their diameters are still taken from side to side. But like your TV set, we know that a square or rectangle has a diagonal dimension that's larger. This makes a square watch of 39 millimeters wear more like a 41 millimeter round watch. So let's say you have a watch with a bezel diameter of 40 millimeters, so not overly large. Again, let's say it's a dive watch, and let's say it has crown guards. These are solid elements attached to the side of the case to protect the crown. These are never included in the diameter dimension. You can see them here on this Rolex Explorer 2. This isn't a dive watch and it's not actually 40 millimeters. This one's 42, but still. The crown guards protrude from the case by 3 millimeters, making its true dimension 45 millimeters in total. An extreme example of this is the Panerai Luminor. On paper, this does have a dimension of 40 millimeters, but it features this massive crown locking mechanism. Again, this isn't included in that 40 millimeter dimension, but it's still marketed as such. This locking assembly is 6 millimeters wide. It's also quite tall and drastically alters the wear on wrist. Its true dimension from side to side is 46 millimeters, much larger than its stated 40. We spoke about this in another video, but comparing watch dimensions to its lug-to-lug distance can give us a good understanding of how a watch might wear. Case diameter is no different. Generally, the larger the diameter, the greater the lug-to-lug distance will be, but not always. Just because a watch has a large diameter on paper doesn't necessarily mean it should be written off as unwearable. This Casio GA2100 has a diameter of 45 millimeters, which is pretty large, but its lug-to-lug is only 46 millimeters, making the watch short across the wrist for its size. This makes it wear well on a smaller wrist. Mine is 16.5 centimeters, which is on the smaller side, but you can see it's more than wearable. The Explorer 2 is smaller in diameter at 42 millimeters, but its lugs are much longer and the strap pivot point longer still, making the total distance across the wrist 53.3 millimeters. This is right on the edge of wearability for me. It is still wearable, but the larger diameter Casio technically fits and wears better. We've spoken about this before too, but even slight differences in dimensions can have a massive effect on wearability. On paper, the differences between a 40 and 42mm watch might not seem like a big deal, right? But when we factor this into potential increases in lug-to-lug and thickness, the overall volume of the watch increases. Ultimately, we're talking about small objects located on relatively small areas of our body. Even slight increases in dimensions can have a massive effect on wearability. Be mindful of this. We often find ourselves in situations where a great deal or buying opportunity might present itself. Maybe we can get a 41mm date just today, but have to wait 6 months for a 36mm. Sometimes the urge to buy now can be tempting. Trust me, I've been there. But at the end of the day, watches are often expensive, so take your time, do your research, and most importantly, wherever possible, try a watch on first. Make sure the watch you buy is right for you first time. I really need to take this advice. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a like. Next time, we're going to cover the final points of wearability, so get subscribed and hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. What are your thoughts on watch diameter? Do you think 39mm is the best overall size? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.